What's up, everybody? It's Dayson Civil of Civil Days Music, and I'm back. What I want to do is I want to kind of go over this track. This is the beat that I made, and I made this beat for the MetaPop competition. Check it out. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right, so as you can see here, I made this beat with the Maschine Studio and my trusted keyboard right here. First, I want to let you know that I used a sample from the nylon strings pack that came from the MetaPop kit. I want to go here. This is the nylon strings. This was the dry loops that they gave us. And I actually used this sample right here that was called Laid Back. It was 110 BPM. Let me play it for you. You hear that? It's kind of low, but you can hear it. That was it. I'll play it one more time. I also played another one. Let me go to this group right here. Let me just run over a lot of things that I did. I added that percussion sample for one. I got the guitar loop on the first group. I started kind of with the all black kit, which kind of goes like this. And if you know me, I kind of like snares. But in this case, it just didn't fit what I was trying to do. I kind of just muted that. And what I kind of did with the sample is I really chopped this bad boy up. So I chopped it up into 16 different parts. After I chopped it, then I played this melody right here with just the chops. And I kind of went over this a number of different times, trying to figure out what I was going to do. But I went ahead and I need to add some things to it just to give it a little more life. I added EQ to it. I added the VST wider because I wanted to make it much more wider than it was. I added some RC color to it just to give it some kind of, you know, to bend notes a little bit. So I did that to it. This is the main sample, the main driving sample here. And at one point I decided I was going to add halftime to it. But I just took it out. With a DAW cassette, you can kind of get a real tape emulation, like the warping of the tapes and all the noise with the tapes. And if you're from that time period, you just know what it sounds like when you put a cassette and the cassette was a little warped. I needed to see what key this was in, so I used this app called Hornet. Shout out to CMP of CMP Productions. This is something that I got from him way back in the day. So I used this just so I could find out what key everything was in. Once I did that, I just played everything on my piano here. So I actually played these notes. So that's my piano. This is my Arturi piano here. If I go, I love this piano. Oh, that's the effect. I'm sorry, y'all. So I added the effects of ROM and I kind of filtered it a little bit. What I did is I took some of the low off of the piano just to give it a little, let it sit in the mix a little bit. Here is the actual piano, and this is how the piano sounds. Now that piano really just accents certain notes. If I was to play the guitar sample and this together, you can kind of hear it. So they kind of just riding with each other, you know what I mean? So then I figured, let me go ahead and add like, you know, a nice 808 to this. But before I did that, I added percussion to it. I had the guitar and I used the guitar percussion. This was another loop that I used with it, all right? Now, let me tell you one of my problems that really irritates me with Native Instruments. The effects take up so much CPU. So I've seen a little tricks, and what people do is they'll take the sample and they will record it down. I've not recorded it down yet, so you're going to hear a little bit of static coming out of some of the sounds, but I'm definitely going to go back and get rid of sounds. Here is the 808. I'm going to let the 808s come on, and I added 808s to it as well. Now, one thing that I really did with the 808s, I tried to make sure that the 808s had a glide with them. Because, you know, I just wanted it to glide a little bit. One of my favorite producers is Jay Rhodes, and I love the way Jay Rhodes lets his bass glide with his tracks. So I kind of just wanted something just to live like that. So it just starts off just a way. So that's it right there. All right. After doing that, I kind of wanted some nice orchestral parts with it, so I used Spitfire Labs for my orchestra. What I played with it right here. You know, I tried to keep them in the background. I got ROM on them, I got wider on them, and I just wanted the notes, just the accent, you know. I'll play the whole track, you know. I went crazy with the glide. Especially on the chorus. I really wanted the glide to really just to like speak, you know what I mean? So I made sure that the glide was on there heavy. All right. So let's go back to the drums, okay? I talked about everything but the drums. I got this Henchman kit, and this Henchman kit, I believe, comes from, let me go here just for search, library, go here, kits, groups, and we want to go to Certified Gold, and Certified Gold, there you are, the Henchman kit. Some stuff I pulled out because, you know, I don't like to sound exactly like somebody else's work, but I thought it was good. I love the drums. I'm gonna go through the drums real quick. So this is not in there. I went and found another flute, and I replaced the flute, and then I got a choir. The crazy thing about this choir is this choir actually, it sounded like ladies, and then all of a sudden it just dropped to men, and it was like, oh, but then it dropped down, and now it was, oh. I was like, oh man. So I just had to deal with it. You know what I mean? After doing that, this is kind of what it sounds like here. So now you can see the horn, that flute is totally different than what it is for that particular lute. Then I also made a lute that had just the choirs. This was the breather. It's just like another flute. So I just played parts of that as well. And then Crystal Clear, I played that as well. And then it came out like this. And then the last thing I did is I went to my last group, Group H. I went and I said, you know, what can I use to bring this track to life? What can I do? So I actually found, and I found some talk box to kind of go with the track, and then came, you know, man, it just all came together. All right. So let me do it like this, and I'm gonna unmute all the tracks and let it play. And if it gets staticky, I'll just play the beat. All right. So let me unmute these tracks. All right. All right, so it's going to go like this. Play it from right here. This is kind of what I use to make my track for the MetaPop Competition nylon strings. Remember, there's 2 more competitions I want to enter. I want to enter the Sarah the Instrumentalist, and I also want to enter the Electric Touch. All right, everybody, this is Stay Sun Civil signing out.